Alright guys, welcome back to my channel, and today I am going to do a countdown of 5 times that I've wanted to punch Badger in the face. Number 5, the studio filming of 488 Series 1. Badger cannot read scripts. He can't even read things properly in the chat, like when I'm talking to him online and stuff in the group chat. Sometimes he just doesn't acknowledge things, and it's the same when he's trying to read off a script. You know, when we were shooting the stuff for the studio stuff for 48 Series 1, it really didn't go well, which is why we scrapped the studio stuff in Series 2.
And I forgot the rest of the words.
If you saw one of the most recent podcasts, you'll obviously know some more background info about this. But yeah, there was so many outtakes, and there's so many times where Badger was picking up the script and he read it, and then he'd think, oh yeah, no, I'll just wing it, and then he'd try and wing it, and then that was another minute wasted of our time. And even more annoyingly, when I was trying to do my lines, because he was so bored because this was taking so long, it was then just making stupid faces and stupid bloody jokes all the time. And in the situation that we were in, yeah, it got pretty annoying and pretty stressful after a while. So I could have definitely done with punching him in the face there.
Oh, yeah!
Number 4, driving like a yob. So Badger loves doing buggy excursions when we go on holidays abroad. Obviously, when we went to the Caribbean last year, there was a lot of times there where I was getting a little bit agitated with him because he kept driving me into bushes, because he was obviously facing the centre of the road, and I was facing the side of the road, and there's loads of bushes, and he kept whacking me into bushes. That was quite comedic in a way, but what wasn't comedic, and what wasn't even on film, which is annoying as well, was in Morocco, when we were doing the buggy excursion in Morocco. There was a part where we drove past a lake, and Badger decided that he would just, obviously, like, my side of the vehicle was obviously the side of the vehicle that was right next to the lake. He decided that he was going to drive right up to the lake and basically drive right freaking through it, almost. So I just got lashed with a big spray of water. Camera was soaked, I was soaked, mud everywhere. I wasn't happy at all. Really wasn't happy at all, and the worst thing is it wasn't on film.
Oh, yeah!
Number 3, being an absolute menace at the wild camp. There's been multiple experiences at the wild camp where I could have punched Badger in the face. Probably one of the biggest things which springs to mind is where he nearly killed us by deciding to chop a tree down, and as that one fell down, another one fell down with it and nearly crushed me on the head. But the most memorable one was the very first time at the wild camp when he'd went off with Frangie and had found this good place to camp, and he told me that I could easily drag all my stuff through to it. I couldn't. There was trees everywhere, branches in the way. It was an absolute nightmare to actually get through all of this dense forest. And he decided to just leave us. And that resulted in me getting quite angry with him not wanting to help us after his massive fuck up of lying to us and not saying 100% truthfully that this route was actually an absolute nightmare to get through. So yeah, that resulted in me getting quite angry.
Badger! Get up here now! How the f did I bring a sledge through there?
And although this was played up a little bit for camera, I'll be honest there, I was actually, you know, generally annoyed. So yeah, probably could have punched him in the face there pretty easily.
Oh, yeah!
Number 2, urinating in my bathroom sink. I don't know if many people will have seen this. It's from quite a while ago when we went to Benidorm, but Badger came back after a night out completely pissed, and literally pissed in my bathroom sink. Didn't use the toilet like a normal person. He decided that he would just piss in my bathroom sink. And the worst part is, the sink wasn't a sink where you could just easily pull a thing on the back of the tap and the plug would just, you know, or it had a, you know, you could just pull a chain. No, the plug was stuck in the sink. So the only way to empty the piss from the sink was to put your hand in the piss. So, yeah, he was completely drunk. He was trying to get into someone else's room, which wasn't his room. He was trying to drag Win up and take him back to the strip. But it was like 4 in the morning. He was trying to drag Win up, take him back to the strip. He was trying to access the lifts with his key card, which obviously wasn't working for him. Win was actually apologising. He was apologising for bringing him back, for coming back drunk and bringing Badger back with him in such a fucking state.
Yeah, I'm really sorry. To come back like completely pissed, I'm sorry.
And yeah, Badger was just, he was so hungover the next morning. And it didn't surprise us, to be honest, because, I mean, how pissed do you have to be to piss in someone's bathroom sink?
Oh, yeah!
Number 1. The excursion cancellation prank. So this is completely exclusive, never before seen or heard of stuff, and the footage is shit because Badger had filmed it on his GoPro and the sound was like absolutely rubbish, and he didn't even stay around. This is what annoys me about if he tries to prank me, right? If someone wants to prank me, I'll say to them, fair enough, but make sure it's on film. Because if it's not on film, then the only person who's laughing is you, not everyone else who's going to watch the video. But basically what happened was, in the Caribbean last year, one of our excursions got cancelled. And I think it was the rep had contacted Jane and Jamie, because he had their contact details, he had their room number down, so they got contacted. They then told Badger and Becca, but no one told me and Win. So me and Win rushed down to the bloody reception because we were running late, and thought, because we were getting text messages from them saying, hurry up, the bus is leaving, the bus is leaving, the bus is leaving. So we rushed down to the reception. There was no sight of the bus. So we're running up the reception and asking people, saying, have you seen a bus? Have you seen our mates? Like, we need to get to this excursion. Is there any way we can get a taxi? So the hotel reception were pretty useless. So we ended up running around the hotel trying to find the rep who wasn't there. So we're running over to the help desk and talking to one of the reps at the help desk, and we're trying to explain what the hell was going on, that we've missed our bus to go to this excursion, and now we can't do our excursion, or our friends have went off to do this trip without us. And then as we were sitting there talking to this person at the help desk, I got a picture came through with Badger, Becca, Jane and Jamie all that had got hot dogs from one of the bars at the restaurant, at the hotel. And I thought myself, right, they're not going to have Wi-Fi or data because we're in a foreign country and I'm pretty sure no one's bought data. So, and there won't be Wi-Fi in the bus because there were shitty buses, there just wouldn't have been. So it's like, well, how the hell is this sent to the chat? And I said to Win, like, is there a possibility that they're pranking us? By this point, obviously, the person at the help desk had started trying to research into what we could do, you know, ringing taxis, all this sort of stuff. And then, like, I said to the person, to this nice person who was speaking to at the help desk at the hotel, I said, right, I think they're having a laugh with us here. And we went up to the room, to Badger's room, and I listened in on the door, and I could hear them in there speaking and talking. And, like, I think me and Win were a little, I think Win was definitely pissed. But I was sort of like laughing because obviously it was just like a light-hearted prank. It was quite funny. But then Badger went on to continue the prank, but by this point it wasn't a prank, and he kept on ignoring us and pretending that they weren't there, even though I'd heard them. So there is a bit of footage which I'll insert now where you can sort of hear me at the door, and I'm just getting more and more angry, like genuinely angry with him. It's quite funny, right? But if he's gonna take this much of the piss, right, not open the door,
I'll tell you what, I won't be fucking speaking to you for the rest of the whole evening.
Like, we know that it's a prank, and he wasn't then having a laugh with us, like, back, and just, like, you know, putting the whole thing to bed. He kept on, like, ignoring us. I was like, well, hang on, like, now this is just becoming literally offensive. So yeah, the whole thing, like, we ended up, like, not speaking for a few hours, and it was like, we genuinely nearly had a falling out, but sort of like, we got talking to Jane and Jamie in the chat and started messaging, and then we met up with Badger and that later on, and we had a drink, and it was all fine. But yeah, that was definitely the biggest time where I've wanted to punch him in the face, because he was just being a complete fucking twat. I am sure that there's plenty of times where he's probably wanted to punch me in the face. So there's that as well. Maybe he'll do a video on that if you ask him nice enough. Everyone go and hound Badger to do a video as a response to this 5 times that he's wanted to punch me in the face. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed this bit of exclusive inside content that we've never featured before. So yeah, I hope you've enjoyed this. Don't forget to like and subscribe and watch 4 Idiots if you've got nothing else to do. And yeah, I'll see you in my next video. Thank you for watching.